Okay, where do I even start with this room? This is such a hard room to do fast, because there's multiple things you have to kind of keep track of while also following a specific route and some specific timings. So I will probably just go ahead and try to do the room how I would do it in the speedrun, and then I'll come back and we'll do bit by bit, because this is one of the harder ones for sure, especially when you begin and you got the part until here nailed down. You feel pretty good, and then comes Jondo-01 and Jondo-02, and then you don't want to run anymore. Okay, let's try and do this properly. Okay, it's fine. Alright, so the goal is to catch this cycle of this platform. It was a little bit of a sloppy version here, but it was okay to get through this. And that's the most tricky part, because you will usually see this or some variation of this if you look at the speedruns, and then you go, and then you try it yourself, and then you inevitably get knocked off the platform by one of the saw throwers or anything else, because the cycle is pretty tight. Okay, so let's start off with this room one by one. So let's maybe start off by explaining the hazards that you kind of have to keep track on in this room. So for once, there are those bells that will be periodically rung by the lady on the bottom here. This lady. If you want to be a little bit safer, or if you don't want to keep those in mind as well, you can always come here on your first pass through and kill the lady. That will stop the bells from ringing. But this will always ring in the beginning here. So once you start in this room, the quickest way down is you slide once, you hold right, and you slide once to the right side, and there's around here, a little bit over, yeah, here is the sweet spot where you can just drop down without the penitent one grabbing the ladder, and then you more or less just hold left to just drop down all the way. Don't attack. I mean, you can grab this wall on your way down, for example. Oh, he's gonna snipe me, isn't he? No. Okay. So what you can do is fall down, grab the wall, and don't have a hard fall. It's probably like pretty much the same time-wise, so do what you feel more comfortable with. Then you've got the decision if you want to kill this lady. I suggest you do when you start learning this room, because it helped me in the beginning as well, to figure out the timings. And then the climb up here is, yeah, pretty self-explanatory. And so this is, I would say, the first half of the room, because notice we want to catch the platform up above us, and also the platform to the right. And those start moving once we pull the lever here. Also, when we pull the lever, 3 of the little flying things, flying faces will spawn down here as well. Just to keep that in mind. And so I won't pull the lever yet because I want to talk about something that's pretty important here. It's this exactly this saw blade thrower guy here. So he will be he's patrolling up here, and depending on where he is when you make your way up here the first time, when you have pulled the lever, you come back here and you want to make your way up here again to ride the platform. So depending on the position of the saw blade thrower guide on the bottom there, he will. You saw it on my attempt. That was a little bit scuffed here because I got shot here. But yeah, depending on his position, he will either shoot you while you're at the end of the climb here, or if he doesn't, which can also happen sometimes if you're slower or faster or whatever, sometimes he just continues to walk to the left, and what happens then is you only come in range once you are up on the platform, which then can translate into a big problem, which comes with the timing of the other saw blade thrower that's over on the left side, where we actually want to jump over to catch the vertical platform. Oh, fuck you. So yeah, keeping in mind the positioning of this guy is also pretty important when you make your way up here, as well as I should say that another way. Once he has shot at you once on the way up here, he will usually not shoot you again when you're riding the platform. But if he has not shot you, he will shoot you while riding the platform. So yeah, that's pretty much that to this guy. And then let's actually get back, reset the enemy positioning, and then make our way down to pull the lever. Oh. So now we come back down, sliding over here. And he does shoot us, which means we should be safe from him now. Important here is, so you can make this cycle. Important is to stand as much to the left. Oh, I guess worked out somehow. So important to so you can make the cycle with the vertical platform is that you stand as much to the left as possible here. So because standing as much left as possible on the platform itself will trigger this saw blade thrower to shoot a little bit earlier. So he shoots at you like at the distance where you can make this jump and then just slide under him. That's really important to notice, because when you start out learning this room, you often barely make it to the platform, and then you stand here and you want to make it over, but you get sniped. That's because you have to stand on the very left side of the platform. And yeah, with that, if you're fast enough, you can make this cycle. If you miss this, I mean, it's not a big deal. I usually just kill this guy and then take the next cycle. But yeah, that's pretty much how this room works. Maybe at this point, a disclaimer. This is how this room works in patch 2.0.22 and 2.0.27. In other game versions, the timings of the saw blade throwers are a little bit different. Or I think it actually works in the current patch as well, but in the older versions, before the 2.0 versions, the saw blade throwers will shoot instantaneously once you come in range and don't have like this second or so wind-up time. So the timings for the jumps and where you have to stand and stuff is a little bit different in the older versions. But yeah, that's as a side note. Alright, and this is really one of the horrible rooms in the game, I would say. To do fast and, you know, get all the cycles. It's pretty tight. Alright.